Witam ponownie. No hej, jestem z powrotem. Wróciłem szybciutko. Walka od razu?
Nothing to poach in Arranshire except spiders. Not worth the trouble if you ask me. Legs are far too brittle. Come out before I find you.
Your poaching days are over. Revelio.
Nie wiem, o co chodzi w tej zagadce. Nic a nic. Dobra, idziemy do komnaty po mandragorę. Chyba już wyrosła. Niech eliksiry się robią. No to będziemy mogli jej teraz użyć. Bo mamy taką misję, żeby wypróbować mandragorę. Była taka misja, halo. A tu. Gdzie ten quest? Wróć do Claire. A gdzie ona jest? Jakaś poboczna misja się tam pojawiła. W spisie jej nie miałem. Niektóre misje to trzeba po prostu tam przejść i sprawdzić, czy nigdzie nic nie ma. Teraz sobie oznaczę.
The best way to learn how to fly a broomstick.
Oh dear, I shall get in trouble for this.
Incendio.
Nice.
Is everything all right?
Siema, Piotrek.
Oh, hello.
Cześć,
Thank
Kuba.
you for asking. I'm Cressida, by the way, and I'm afraid everything's not all right. I may be in a spot of trouble with the librarian. You see, I'm fond of creating my own charms. Thought I'd perfected my light as a feather charm to use on my library books. My arms get so tired carrying them around all day. But I must have confused the Latin word for feather with bird in my incantation, because when I opened my bag just now in the library, they literally took flight.
That sounds a rather complicated way to simply avoid carrying your books.
Possibly. But where's the fun in simplicity? New charms and spells have to come from someone. Why not me? I collect the books and remove the charm myself, except this isn't the first time one of my charms has threatened the peace of the library. Our meet told Madame Scribner they were my books flying around, so she said that if I caused her any more trouble, she'd write to my parents. Perhaps you could get them for me. There are only 5. She won't be suspicious of a new student looking around.
Why did Army tell Madame Scribner that they were your books?
Oh, to be perfectly honest, I don't think he meant any harm. I think he was impressed, bragging on my behalf. Amit spends a lot of time gazing at the stars, but he knows a good charm when he sees one.
I suppose I could help, if I have the time.
Oh, I'd very much appreciate it. One of the books is my diary. I'd rather it not fall into the wrong hands. If you could collect them and bring them to me, I can remove the charm.
5 książek. Dobra, to będzie łatwe.
I'm going to have to use Accio to get those books. Accio! Got it. Only 4 more to go.
Tam następna. Gdzie ty poleciałaś? Nie no, chyba tam nie... O, tam jest. Widzę cię.
Revelio. Accio! This must be Cressida's diary. I'd want this back too if I were her.
To był dobry dzień, przynajmniej do momentu, kiedy Gareth rozlał na moje piękne, ugotowane ciuchy siatko-skrzydłe tę swoją niedorzeczną miksturę. Kurde, jak mi się to ciężko czyta. Którą rzekomo tworzył. Musiałem wylać całą zawartość kociołka i zacząć od nowa. Straszny z niego nic po nim. Wydaje mu się, że o miksturach wie już wszystko. Zawsze przeszkadza na zajęciach profesora Sharpa tymi swoimi eksperymentami. Jestem przekonana, że gdyby nie byłby bratankiem profesor Weasley, to już dawno by go wyrzucili. Dzisiaj na kolację znów wędzony dorsz z arboczoła. Zaczynam je lubić, choć i tak wolałabym paszteciki.
Revelio.
Revelio.
Accio!
Jeszcze jedna. Tam jest. No ty.
That's the last book. Now to take them back to Cressida.
Wszystko dobrze działa? Nie ma lagów na streamku? Z tą grą strasznie mieliśmy problemy na początku. To ona jest tam wyżej? A tu wyżej. No, rozumiem.
Hello, Cressida. I collected your books, including your diary.
Oh, what a relief! Thank you. I'll happily take the heavy lot off your hands now.
Unless you want your classmates to know how you really feel about them, you might reward me for my time.
Oh, you're not at all who I thought you to be.
I wouldn't do that to you, Cressida. Only trying to teach you to be a little more careful.
Well, lesson learned. I certainly won't be practicing any charms in the library again anytime soon. Now, to work out where I went wrong. Perhaps I should start brushing up on my Latin. Thank goodness some people are trustworthy. Certainly wouldn't want anyone but me reading my diary.
Najcik.
Do you think I have a big forehead? You can be honest.
Jest wszystko ok? A ten, na jakiej jakości FK oglądasz?
absolutely sweet on me, I'm sure of it. Every time he's around me, he's crooning at me.
Jaką jakość masz ustawioną?
Upper Hogsfield. Now where to find Mrs. Sprottle? It's like a place right out of a storybook. Hello, Mrs. Sprottle. Actually, Sirona Ryan asked if I'd come and see you.
Oh, dear Sirona, a gem. Has been for as long as I've known her.
She thought you might need help collecting ingredients for your Wiggenweld potion.
And she's correct. My darling Aidan used to collect hawk lumps for me. Since he died, my supply has dwindled.
I'm sorry for your loss, Mrs. Sprottle.
Oh, thank you. Love of my life. A bit lost without him. If you wouldn't mind gathering some hawk lumps for me, I'd be happy to compensate you for your time.
I can certainly try and find some for you.
That would be wonderful. I'm worried about the travelling vendors and would love to get them more Wiggenweld potion.
Sirona also mentioned that Mr. Sprottle was bringing her a box of letters when he fell ill.
Indeed he was. I'd almost forgotten. I stumbled upon it just before Aidan died. He was hoping to go through it with Sirona over a butterbeer or two. Those two were always like two bowtruckles in a branch. Aidan took ill when he was collecting hawk lumps on his way to see
kurde,
her.
jest tylko Full
He
HD do
made it
wybrania?
home, but I fear he dropped the box in the cavern. The cavern is in the hills just southwest of our hamlet. You can gather hawk lumps and collect the box of letters there.
Do you remember anything about the letters you put in the box?
Oh, of course. A few letters from some of her school friends. Some nice memories. I even included a letter Sirona had written to me when she was staying with us. Thought she might enjoy reading it. I know when I read writing from my youth, I'm always astonished at how much I've changed, and yet remain the same.
Ej, to zaraz to zmienię.
Sirona said she lived with you during the summers when she was at Hogwarts. What was she like?
Goodness. Well, she was almost exactly like she is now. Charming, good head on her shoulders, taking care of everyone. I can't tell you the fun we had when she and her friends would visit us during the year, all buzzing about, practicing charms. Talented group. Her friend Mirabelle was a genius in the garden. Learned it all from her muggle parents, if you can believe it.
Thank you, Mrs. Sprottle.
Thank you. I'll be here if you are able to collect those hawk lumps. I and the vendors I help would greatly appreciate it.
Ja muszę na chwilę przerwać stream. To na chwilę go przerwię. Także jak